I bet you want to know who's on the radio. Let's talk about it. I tell you what, you won't find a tandem better than these two. Let's talk about it. Are you ready for this? See, you didn't just stumble upon some random show. Nah, this here is destiny. Jeffery, Renee.
It's almost showtime, people.
Let's talk about it. Live with Jeffrey and Renee. Watching is the best decision you'll ever make. Saturday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Only on www.StatusNetwork.net. Call or text in live 470-251-4647. Hashtag Let's Talk with Jeffrey and Renee.
You know what time it is.
And here are your hosts, Jeffrey and Renee.
Facebook family, Instagram family, Manifest TV, and Status Network. It is time for Let's Talk About It Live with Jeffrey and Renee. When I tell you that we are going to be getting it in today, that is an understatement. Man, listen, a lot of stuff's been going on this week. Renee, how you doing?
I'm doing good, thank you, Jeffrey. How are you?
Oh, man, look, y'all just don't know how blessed and fortunate and highly favored I feel today with the talent around me, the intelligence, and the beauty around me. Lord Jesus, bless me today. I love it, I love it, I love it. But being completely serious, we're going to talk about a lot of important things today. A lot of important stuff, some heavy topics, and this is a trigger warning. If you are not prepared to mentally have a really strong debate where everyone can be heard and everyone's perspective respected, don't call this show 470-251-4647, because I believe in a healthy exchange of perspectives, but I ain't getting canceled. Just is what it is. All right, let's go ahead and well, first of all, Renee, you said you're going. What's been going on in your week? You doing well?
I'm doing well, thank you. Doing well. Just everyday life, working.
Working. Love it. We have two phenomenal guests with us this week. We have, first of all, the vivacious February Hassan. February, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
I'm gonna need you to speak into that microphone. You got the microphone right in your lap. Not speaking.
Okay.
It should be on.
Thank you.
Welcome to the show. All right, and that manifesting matter. I mean, when I tell you that visualization ain't no joke, and she brings it into existence, Coach Stacy Bryan, welcome to the show.
Welcome, but I don't know if madam is
now, you know what? I was trying
good thing to address me by.
I was trying to use alliteration, blame it on my head, not on my heart.
The manifest chick is good.
The manifest chick. Okay, we'll take that. The number is 470-251-4647. Listen, we got a couple of traditions on the show. One of those traditions is something that I like to call HBCU Love. We like to spotlight our historically black colleges and universities by showcasing their bands and some of their outstanding performances. Today will be no different. This time we have Jackson State. One of their drum majors performed Marvin Sapp's You Are God Alone. And it's amazing. We're going to take a look at that clip, and we're going to come back and talk about it. You ready to roll that clip? Here we go.
Oh, such another power. All the wonder of your glory. To you 40 years is but 1 hour. Your knowledge is all encompassing. To your wisdom there is no way. Oh, for you alone are God. There's nobody like you, Lord. You are God. to the King, eternal, immortal, invisible. Say you are God, you are. Hey. Listen, we say that you're worthy of the glory and honor, dominion, and power forever and ever. Amen. Be all glory and honor, dominion, and power forever and ever and ever. There you go, baby!
Love it, love it, love it, love it. Only at an HBCU. Love it. Did they do the thing or what?
He did the thing.
He did the thing. He did the thing. All right, now listen, we got another, actually a new tradition on the show. Brand new tradition. We have a new segment, y'all. That new segment is called
Hey, Zaddy.
I love it. I love it. Hey, back. Keep showing concern. Keep showing concern. All right, so listen. Every now and then I get asked these questions. And so, if you have a question you want to get an answer from Zaddy, send an email to talkwithzaddy, Z-A-D-D-Y, @gmail.com, and I will answer your question live on air. I do prefer that you send over a voice clip so we can play the clip on air, just like we're going to do right now. We got a real scenario. Oh, love it, love it. Let's go ahead and play the first scenario for the Hey Zaddy segment. Y'all ready for this? I'm ready. Go ahead and roll that clip.
Hey, Zaddy.
Hey, I love it. I love it. Now, don't act like you don't see the shirt.
The shirt
All
can
I
say
see was
Superman
A.
and you ain't Superman.
You know what? Because we all cool and stuff, I'm going to let y'all go ahead and make a spectacle out of me. But I didn't buy this shirt for myself. It was a gift.
Hey, Zaddy.
All right, you ready to roll the first clip? All right, go ahead and roll that clip. Here we go. Here's the scenario. All right. So as we cue that clip up, it's coming soon. Again, every now and then I'll get a segment or an email or a question. I want everybody to know, I'm not here to make light of your scenario. This is a real scenario that we got. I'm going to be honest with you and give you honest feedback, and I ask that the guests, they also give their contribution. We're going to listen to the clip, and I haven't listened to the whole thing yet. I just know I got a clip. So we'll play it right now, we'll come back, and we'll talk about it. Go ahead and roll that clip for me.
Hi, Zaddy. My name is Angela, and me and my husband have been together for about 4 years. However, about 6 months ago, he started an OnlyFans account, and he refuses to put me on his OnlyFans account whatsoever. I have no participation, no help. It's his own thing. So after doing a little investigating, I found that the majority of his followers are all men. They're trading videos, they're sexting, they're video chatting, and I don't know how to take it. I don't know how to feel about this, and I need to know, is my husband gay?
Woo. Okay, if you have a question, you can also send a video clip to talkwithzaddy@gmail.com. Let's get into this. This is kind of tough. Now, this is touchy. First of all, let me ask you ladies, Renee, if your husband had an OnlyFans, suspension of disbelief here now, if he had an OnlyFans account and you found out that he was exchanging information with men, you know, texting and stuff like, well, sexting as the young lady put it, how would you respond to that?
First, I don't think I would need to ask a question to another man. I think that my husband is my husband, and there are signs there, just in his demeanor, all of that, that would let me know, like, okay, something ain't right. That would be the first flag. But then if you're only involving men and you're texting and you're sending videos, and she said sexting, yeah, something ain't right with that. Yeah, you could be bi, but something's not right with that.
All right. Jeffery, what do you think?
I hear a lot of things, as you know. Now, that one took me just for a little bit. I was like, oh, okay, I didn't see that coming. Of course, we don't know 100% what his sexual orientation is, but I would lean towards the side of saying yes, just in my experience and talking. And I would also ask, is she okay with that? There's a whole other conversation now needs to happen. Doesn't necessarily, if she's okay with that and whatever the situation is, then that's what they can explore. But honestly, I'm going to go with yes. Remember, my ex-husband used to always say, if you have to ask, it's probably already yes. Simply because you had to even ask. There's something already there that's triggering you, that's causing the response. So no matter what the person says, it's already a response in you, no matter what. So he could say yes, no, maybe so. It's not going to change how she feels.
Right.
So the bottom line is now time to go beyond what his sexual orientation is and have a deeper conversation. Because no matter what he says, he's already opened Pandora's box. He could say no, he could say it's just sexting, it's just texting, is making us money. There's nothing he can say is going to now change the box that he's opened. So now it's time for really honest dialogue. And if she's okay with wherever he is, then that's on them. But the idea, the question, what his sexuality is, at this point, it doesn't even matter. He's opened Pandora's box.
Well said. Coach Stacy, what do you think?
Wow. Well, I say wow, but the question is he gay? Is that the question that she's asking? Well, I'm with Everett. It doesn't matter. At this point, it doesn't matter. When the sexting part came in, that everything else went out the window. I mean, before that, I guess I wouldn't care, but that portion opens, like she says, a whole deeper box. And so at this point now, it's time to take action on where do we go from here. I've encountered several clients who have had husbands that came out later in the marriage, and actually all of the encounters that I've come across, they're all okay with it. It's like, okay, this is where you are now. A couple of them are, seeking divorce, but it's like, okay, that's still my best friend. We did marry, until we figure out, what you're going to do with the rest of your life. This is what life is. I'm accepting you for who you are. Some people are not just so accepting. So it's up to her now to not even really ask the question, is where do I go from here? That's the question you should be asking. Where do I go from here?
Well said, well said. Now, with love, I'm going to talk to you like I'm your brother or your uncle. All right. Renee mentioned something earlier. You really didn't have to send me this scenario. All you have to do is quit looking at the hot pink flags and see them as red flags. That hot pink, because, you know, sometimes we as individuals, we will see a flag, and because we don't want it to be red, we'll say it's hot pink. It's still red. In this instance, deductive reasoning now, you knew about the OnlyFans. You asked, could you participate? So you were open to the OnlyFans idea. Checked it off the list. When he said, no, you can't, all right, maybe he don't want his wife out there. Maybe he doesn't want other people to see it. Okay, I could get that. But now that you've done your investigation, I don't think you really needed to send me nothing. Like it's already been said, what are you going to do? You have enough information to make an educated decision. The answer is, what are you going to do? So here's my advice. You have to have a conversation with yourself to see how you feel, and then you have to have a conversation with your husband. Now, I would love to say I want to follow up, but quite honestly, that's between the two of you. Whatever y'all decide to do, that's y'all's thing. I believe that it can be worked out if everybody is honest, including your husband. You deserve to have all the information so you can make an educated decision. And if he does not give you that information, he's given you some more information. That's all I got to say about that. And if you want to send your information over for feedback, you can email talkwithzaddy@gmail.com. It's a real email address. I will actually get it, and I will respond to you to make sure that you're okay with us playing it on the show. Question?
Yeah, I do have a question, because you know what? I'm just sitting here thinking OnlyFans.
Uh-huh.
And he just might be, might be getting paid a little something. You know,
Could be.
just you know what I'm saying?
That's part of the
I know
conversation.
a few people on OnlyFans, and what they portray on OnlyFans is not who they are.
That's part of the
But they get
conversation.
paid a pretty penny.
That's part of the conversation that needs to be had. Bottom line
Exactly.
is, he's not being fully transparent. And no matter what,
just let her know what's going on. She might be on board. Maybe if you buy a couple of things, she might want to say
You know what? Gifts don't solve everything.
they solve a few things.
You know what? Y'all killing me. Let's do this. Let's do this. We are going to shift gears. We got a number of things we want to talk about, and one of them is Bill Cosby. Okay, trigger alert. Trigger alert. This will be a conversation that might trigger something for you as a viewer. It might trigger strong emotions. If you are not up to having strong conversations in an emotionally intelligent way, do not call 470-251-4647. If you would like to join the conversation, we'd love to have you. This is an open, safe space for you to express yourself. At the same time, we don't do cancel culture on this program. 470-251-4647. Let's take a look at what's happened recently with Bill Cosby, just as a quick recap before we show the video. Bill Cosby's case was vacated. His conviction was vacated. That means that he was not exonerated. It's almost as if the conviction did not exist. So there was no exoneration. It was vacated. And it was also ruled that no further prosecution can take place because of the agreement the previous district attorney made with Bill Cosby and his legal counsel to have a civil deposition. So earlier this week, Bill Cosby was released when the Pennsylvania Supreme Court agreed with his appeal. He's been incarcerated for 3 years now?
3 years.
3 years. There are some people who are happy that he's out. So I'll pose the question, just going round robin. We'll start with you, Renee. How do you feel about Bill Cosby being released?
I think that from the legal aspect that there was a deal made 15 years ago that he would not be prosecuted, and there was a civil case done where he paid out, wasn't it $3 million? Okay, so at that point, the criminal charges, because of them, it was a non-prosecutable case. You can't come back later and say, I'm prosecuting you when the money is spent, because the money shouldn't have been even an issue if you really suffered emotionally. That's my perspective. But him getting out based off of the legal aspects, I mean, I have to agree. He never should have been. He never should have went.
Understood. Coach Stacy, how do you feel? If you care to comment. If not, I understand.
I don't care to comment. Okay, the man did some time. They overturned it. So what? You know, it's something for everybody to talk about for the next 3 or 4 days.
Fair enough.
I'm just saying.
February, how you feel?
I really don't care one way or the other.
I love it. They don't care. Oh, but they're going to be caring in just a second. Let's go ahead and play this video showing a general recap of how we got to where we are with Bill Cosby being released. You ready for that clip? Go ahead, roll that clip.
He didn't stay long at his Pennsylvania home, leaving today to reunite with his wife.
He would spend the next months with her. They haven't seen each other in almost 3 years.
According to his spokesperson, Andrew Wyatt, Cosby knew the Pennsylvania Supreme Court decision was coming, but didn't know when. Prison guards told him he was free at noon yesterday, unlocking the cell and opening the door. According to Wyatt, there were cheers from the other inmates. Bill Cosby came back home. Wyatt says they stayed up until 2 in the morning. The 83-year-old telling him he didn't want to go to bed. He was afraid all of this was just a bad dream. The Philadelphia Supreme Court threw out the conviction, saying Cosby's due process rights were violated when he was charged with sexually assaulting and drugging Andrea Constand. The alleged incident took place in 2004, but the district attorney at the time, Bruce Castor, decided there wasn't enough evidence to bring charges, compelling Cosby to give a deposition in Constand's civil case.
I can sit there, do nothing, and hope the case gets better, like get a confession, or I can try to find another way, another solution, and I chose to find another way.
But Cosby's deposition was then used to charge him a decade later. The court says the DA's office broke a promise not to prosecute.
Yes, I intended that to bind my successors in perpetuity.
Cosby's legal team calling it justice, but many of the dozens of women who have made a range of allegations against Cosby, from groping to sexual assault to rape, are angry.
For me, he has paid a very small, minute portion of consequences for his actions. And no matter what technicality he gets off on, he's still guilty.
Under the law, his record is wiped clean. He can't be retried. But for a man who was once known as America's dad, some damage can't be undone.
Stephanie joining me here in the studio. What is next for Cosby?
Well, Lester, there is still a pending lawsuit that was being held until the Pennsylvania Supreme Court made the decision it announced yesterday. But his spokesperson said he's making plans, including a documentary, and he says Cosby was on the phone this morning with comedy club owners.
All right. I just want to be clear about a couple of things. I believe that women who come forward deserve the right to be heard, and they deserve to be believed where evidence supports. I absolutely believe, to the fullest extent of the law, a man who sexually assaults a woman should be held accountable for that to the fullest extent of the law. I don't care who he is. At the same time, we have to recognize that the law is designed to be emotionless. And Bill Cosby was not, Bill Cosby's case was vacated. That is not to say that other women didn't have a case. It's not to say that he didn't do things wrong with Andrea Constand. He did say that he touched her inappropriately after giving her some type of cold medication, some type of over-the-counter something. Bill Cosby has made jokes about Spanish fly and giving women this on comedy years ago. I remember those jokes. There are people who said it was known that Bill Cosby did these types of things. At the same time, there are people that said when he was around me, he never did anything like that. Anything like that. So here's what I would submit to you for consideration. Sometimes we have to take accountability for the culture that's out there. As a man around 3 women, let me tell you something I saw today. I saw 10 videos of women being harassed. I mean, one woman had her hat on as low as she could pull it, and the guy said she had nice breasts. And her friend ran up and said, you apologize to her. And the older white guy stood there and apologized. Another video, young lady being led away, being followed by a woman whose internal instinct said something's not right about that. And she saved that little girl from getting kidnapped. The kidnapper ran away. 10 videos I saw today of women just minding their business being harassed. That is a systemic problem. Systemic. And when we have that type of environment, of course some women are not going to come forward. I'm not saying that the women should have or should not have. I'm just saying we have a systemic problem in our culture where some men prey on women. One video, the man followed the woman home and opened her sliding door. Didn't know her at all. I mean, that's what some of our women have to deal with. And it's completely unacceptable. It doesn't have a place, and women should be protected from that type of thing. The expectation is I should be able to walk outside safely, whether you're a man or a woman, and I have to worry about looking over your shoulder. Being at the gas pump, somebody trying to holler, or somebody trying to rob you. All right, Renee, any feedback on that? Any comment?
No, I agree with you.
Okay. February, any comment?
No, I definitely agree. I did want to kind of piggyback on something you said in regards to, there's situations where it happened to her, but it didn't happen to her. Mm-hmm. And I have a brief story where I had a girlfriend that I introduced to a guy friend that I knew. They hit it off incredibly well, right? Started dating the whole nine. Somewhere shortly thereafter, he used to just drop her daughter off at school for her. So let me give you an explanation of, this is her building. Her parking lot's behind the building. The school was within 4 minutes walking distance, but because it was winter time, he just would drop her off. So it takes 1 to 2 minutes to do that.
Right.
Come to find out that he would expose himself in the car while the car was warming up to take this child to school. 1 to 2 minutes. This is an overprotective mom. She's thinking, 2 minutes around the corner, my child is safe. And I remember, and it was some identifying things about his genitalia that led the mom to believe the child was telling the truth. Not that she did not believe her, but it was so poignant. And so he said to me, and I had a daughter as well. Well, Tia's always been around. Nothing ever happened with her. And I was like, don't even try it. Don't even try it. I'm on the side of the little girl. But I too had a daughter, and nothing happened. But I can't ever recall them ever being alone, not even for a minute. But again, this mom left her child for a minute. Literally a minute. They could have walked in 4 minutes, but simply because it was winter time, she allowed him to take her child around the corner, and he was exposing himself in the car while the car was. So I just say all that to say, just because
it didn't happen to you,
be true at the same time is all I'm saying. You could have been perfectly appropriate around me and perfectly inappropriate around someone else.
That's
Two
right.
things can be true at the same time.
I completely recognize that, and I received that. Very well said. Coach Stacy, you want to add anything, or are you good?
I'm good.
All right, wonderful, wonderful. Now, I'm going to put something out there because I believe in the equal treatment of it. A couple of weeks ago, an entertainer came out and said that when he was a teenager, a prominent female vocalist molested him. Had a producer tell him to come up to her room, and she molested him. Now, this entertainer was also molested as a child. And no one has come back and said that he was not telling the truth. And I want to know, where is the outrage? It might have been over a year ago now. A prominent female rapper said when she was an entertainer, she would drug her clients to get money from them. Where was the outrage? I'm only asking, where was the outrage? Now, don't get it twisted. I'm doing this on purpose. Y'all know I am. It is apples and oranges to what women have to put up with. My little 2 examples that I got. Don't get it twisted. I'm saying, though, none of it is acceptable. None of it, especially against children. Don't get it twisted. Now, we know some real big churches for years were hiding predatory pastors. Big churches, moving them around instead of addressing the issue. Denying people justice for decades. People grew up with that trauma. And then when they were finally compensated, nothing was really done to address the trauma they were holding. Mm-hmm. Money's great, but money doesn't repair the soul.
Right.
So I'm just saying, I do believe that it is a systemic problem and women should not be subjected to it. Taking it further, no person, man or woman, should be violated like that at all. I just wanted to bring that around, especially when we got some young men who take advantage of a woman who gets probation. Probation. I think he spent 2 months in jail, the rest was probation. And basically he's kind of faded away into the dark. He should be plastered on everything, everywhere. I'm going to let that go because I don't want us to get too deep, too dark. Coach Stacy?
Well, it's not, I mean, because you know I open my mouth, we are going to get deep, right?
Go on with it.
But I mean, and I get what you're saying. You're trying to highlight these things, that there's no outrage and no one's saying anything. But you have to think of the millions and millions of cases of molestation that are out there that no one ever hears about. Mm-hmm. I think it's kind of common. And so to hear something like this, which is why I never really have a comment. I wasn't there. Mm-hmm. I don't know what Bill Cosby did. I know, at one time he was an idol of mine, oh girl, I mean, she could not be telling a lie. Who cares? That's an issue. Being a trauma advocate, mm-hmm. that's an issue where I just really pray that she seeks and find healing, mm-hmm. if that happened to her. And the same for him, mm-hmm. because if he was the predator, he needs some healing too, mm-hmm. right? But to go against what you're saying about where's the outrage? Where's the outrage? And I could think this is why I don't really get into a lot of, I don't watch the news. I don't, really get into all of these social conversations because, I mean, come on, right? Mm-hmm. How many bones you got in your closet while you trying to speak on what's going on in someone else's closet, right? So the main thing I want to say here is to each and every one who can hear, who's under the sound of my voice, or who comes across this at a later time, it's really about really just reflecting on yourself. Mm-hmm. Where do I stand? Has this happened to me before? Am I going to view? Is my opinion based on something that I've gone through? All right? Am I really just opinionating my own situation, but because Bill Cosby's in the limelight, then I can speak on that, right? Or do I need to reflect and I need to find some healing for my trauma as well? Or do I know someone that it's happened to? Yep. There are a few steps further that we as a people have to learn to take. Does that make sense?
It does.
That's why I didn't want to speak on it, because
I'm glad you did, because somebody needs to hear that.
Right. Yeah, I can go on that.
I know you can. That girl can talk. But it's always a blessing when she does, though. Don't get it twisted. I love it. Thank you so much for sharing that. I really appreciate that. Speaking of the pressure that women get unjustly, have y'all seen what they've been saying about Sha'Carri Richardson?
Yeah.
Renee, what do you think about it?
I think
even before the weed part.
Yeah. I think we as a people, not just the media, all of us, I think that we criticize. We're so quick to criticize. And Sha'Carri is a normal woman that's out here doing big things for black women, blacks all together, and she's made an accomplishment, but the media and everybody is dragging her for her hair and her nails, and that's so irrelevant. I don't care what she looked like. Let's recognize the accomplishment. That's all I got to say about that.
I love it. I love it. February. What do you think? Just leave the mic on. I'm telling you, turn the mic on and off. Just leave the damn thing on.
Mind your business.
Sha'Carri Richardson, what do you think?
You know, I'm like her. I don't watch a lot of television. I don't watch a lot of media. Most likely, most of my stuff, you guys will say something on Facebook, and I have to go Google what you're talking about to actually create an opinion about it. Sha'Carri grew up a certain way. You know, her hair and her nails and her tattoos and everything. That's where she's from. That's perfectly normal. That's who she is. That's part of her environment. She's not bothering anybody. The way she looks does not bother me. I mean, my hair kind of orange today, I think, too. So, and as it relates to her and her current situation, there's so many sides of, like, you know, as a people, oftentimes I think that we over punish our children for things, whereas, and I'm not comparing this to the proximity of anybody else. This is my personal opinion. I think we over punish our children so as to make a stance, and also to overcompensate for other people's opinions about us. So I think that she's being harshly punished for something that people say, well, she should have known better. She's 21. All of it ain't even developed yet.
Right.
Scientifically, no. Her frontal lobe, her decision making isn't even fully developed yet, and now she's thrown into the limelight. And someone can say that's what she signed up for. You don't know that's what you signed up for until you got there. I promise you. And I'm only right here, and you don't know how many people are going to attack you, how many people are going to have opinions about you, and it's so much, so soon, so rapidly when you get to that level. And it's not that she got there overnight, but the media came in overnight. The opinions came in overnight. The pressure comes in overnight. And everybody's at you, and everybody has an opinion. Everybody's telling you which way to go. That's a lie.
It is.
Give the child some grace. Okay, was it even a mistake? Whatever. Grace. Can we give some damn grace?
Yeah.
To let people be, let them grow and develop. Yes, can someone give her some guidance? Can someone be, baby girl, it's okay.
Exactly.
You're gonna make some more damn mistakes, okay?
That's right.
Keep living as old. Keep living. And I think she handled it with grace.
Yes, she did.
So moving right along. Okay, she did what she did. Now what? That's it. She's being penalized for it. Now what? But I think we, and I'm talking about us, do not give us enough grace.
That's
because
right.
we want to look a certain way in the eyes of other people. She's 21. She has not fully developed all her senses anyway. So she gets grace from me as a mother.
That's right.
And grace from me as a black woman. I hope she makes many more mistakes to grow from.
Yeah,
And
she will.
She keeps developing, because that's the only way she's going to
grow.
meet her greatness is by making a few mistakes.
That's right.
They will be all right, but I pray that she's amazing.
Yeah.
I love it.
I
Well,
do
Stacey,
too.
what do you think?
What she do?
She
I'm just saying.
She got banned for smoking weed.
I mean, I get that. And again, what she do?
I love it.
I'm just saying.
I love it.
Right.
What she do in this, especially in this, you have to look at the socially justice climate that we live in, right? And how many, can I be politically correct? Caucasian men
You can
have
say the
been busted
caucasity
for
of it
what,
all.
steroids and.
True.
I'm just saying.
You absolutely
That's
right.
right. She's supposed to weed. Okay.
How many kids her age
It's legal
don't?
in half the states here. Okay. What are we talking about?
Call my daughters.
My sons.
You know what?
Now here,
You know what?
facts. But here's the thing. Now, was there a contract signed?
Well, from the International Olympic Committee standpoint, yes, she did acknowledge that as a part of their banned substances. Marijuana was one of them. Yes.
I will not partake of marijuana.
She was aware that it was a banned substance.
Okay, so punish her based on the
was
contract she signed and keep it moving.
Yeah. The International
We
Olympic
gotta have something
Committee.
to talk about.
Well, I get it. The International Olympic Committee has a list of banned substances, and they test for them all. Now, she didn't get popped for any type of steroid or anything that enhances her performance. No stimulants whatsoever. The THC, she got caught for marijuana.
Maybe it was CB.
No,
Maybe as a matter of fact, they might
lit
want
up.
her to stay on some marijuana to slow her down a little bit.
You know
They might
what?
want to leave her alone.
Okay.
If they all know.
All right.
She was running
I'm just
high.
saying, we're
And
running
she
high,
drove everybody out.
They might want to stay.
Leave her alone.
I tell you what. Now, I agree with everything that's been said, and especially the parts about grace and keeping it in perspective. The thing that really disturbs me sometimes is how mean we are to our young men and young women. I mean, mean. You knew better. She signed up for it, but your kid a pothead. Your child is incorrigible, disrespectful, still sitting their ass on your couch, not doing a damn thing. But here you are, Facebook bullying someone who has accomplished something in spite of her circumstances. She said that the day she found out her biological mother passed away, she heard it from a reporter, not from her family, not from anyone else. And she had to prepare. She still had to prepare. And in that instance, she decided to get high. And I don't blame you. In her state now, the state she was living in, it's legal in Oregon. And so, you know, but the International Olympic Committee, it's one of their banned substances. So she has accepted the suspension. It's still unclear. She will definitely not be able to run in her signature 100-meter event. There's a possibility that the suspension will be over in time for her to run for the relay. So as far as I know, she will still be able to participate in some way, shape, or form in the Olympics, just not her signature event. And she had all her winning times leading up to it. They were all vacated. So the person who finished second to her, they are now the first place finisher in all her events.
Now that's the problem that I have.
Talk about it.
I think that that's a problem because did she win?
Absolutely.
So why are we taking that away from her? And I'm not, don't quote me on this, but I remember Michael Phelps, and it was after the event, but he had a drug. Did they strip him of his medals?
They did.
They did? Okay, well then, okay.
He got a 90-day suspension, and he did lose medals, and he lost a endorsement, I think, with Kellogg's and a couple of other people.
Okay.
So he
I stand
actually,
corrected.
yeah, he actually did suffer penalty. Yeah.
But I just don't feel like that is warranted enough to take her, to strip of a medal. I agree with the suspension because the rules are the rules. But one, it wasn't a performance enhancing drug. It had nothing, at least we don't think so, right? Because she could have had, it could have, but we don't know that because she's been running for a while. And I just think to take that away from her is wrong. And I agree with you. She's young. How many kids and grown people out there are not smoking marijuana, right? And it's legal in some states, illegal in others, but
it's legal
the whole board that took it away smoke.
They probably do harder drugs.
Right, exactly. You're absolutely right. They do harder drugs. That's right. Absolutely.
I promise.
And those aren't legal.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Here's the thing that I find about the International Olympic Committee. We have swimmers now who are varying ethnicities. Usually it was just a bunch of white people. The caucasity of swimming is historic. Now we got people with afros and dreadlocks, so they have swimwear, larger caps to contain the hair. The International Olympic Committee said, nah, y'all can't have those because we believe elite athletes don't have long hair. That is what they said. We will not allow these because we believe elite athletes have short hair.
The stereotype.
That's what they said. Well, let me change that.
That's why I don't talk
Not
about
as much hair. The caps were a little bigger to accommodate more hair and different types of hair textures, but they will not allow those to be there. So in the face of those types of things, I can understand why this feels like, hey, y'all discriminating against her. The rules are the rules. She acknowledged them, and she's accepted it. A good friend of mine said it like this today on Facebook. She said, when I was in the reserves, I smoked weed, and had a test. Thankfully, I passed. The next week, I smoked weed again. Because I knew I wasn't going to get tested, random drug tested like back to back. And they tested me again. And I passed, but it scared me enough for me to stop. And I was 20. 20-year-olds do stupid stuff. Now, I'm not saying what she did was stupid. I'm just saying if you think back to when you were 20, everything you did wasn't above board. You wasn't no angel. Let's not pretend. Grace, as February said, let's give our children some damn grace. I said damn grace. That don't go together. Well, damn grace then. How about we extend some grace to our children, especially the ones who are in the spotlight because they need it the most.
Yes.
Remember how we treated Gabrielle Douglas, or Gabby Douglas, about her hair. About her hair. And she was at the height of her game, having to hear people criticize her about her hair. Absolutely ridiculous. Okay. Now, one thing that we have on this show is Renee gets to flex her credit tips, her muscles.
Oh, Lord.
So I hope you're ready to give us some credit tips today.
Let me think about it.
Okay, you want me to come back to you, or you ready to go? You can shoot
Give me 1 second. Okay, I can shoot. Okay, give me. Well, I do know. So today I wanted to briefly talk about the knowledge of trade lines. Do you know what a trade line is?
Yes.
Do you guys know what a trade line is? Okay.
For
those that don't know what a trade line is, a trade line is it's actually built on your credit report or your credit profile. It is the creditors showing your performance with doing credit with them or obtaining credit history with them. That can be in a credit card, an auto loan, a mortgage, or any of that. And the uniqueness of that trade line, depending on what kind of trade line is, you can share it with someone, make them an authorized user. Mm-hmm. So if you have great credit, your children, and I think that for us, this would be so good bringing our kids up when they get 16, 17, to go ahead and start. If you as a parent got good credit, bringing your children up with adding a trade line. If your credit is good, make them an authorized user to your credit so that it can help start building their credit and their profiles.
I love it.
That is the tip of the day.
I love it. I want y'all to hear what she said, though. She said if you got good credit.
Oh, yeah. That's
I like
the key.
how she changed the whole culture, because
Yes.
They used to put the kids in names on
That's what I was getting ready to say.
She changed the whole culture.
That's what I was getting ready to say.
Put your credit together so you can help their children now.
No, just to piggyback off what Coach Stacy said, we're not talking about putting the light bill in your child's name.
No.
That ain't what we're talking about. We are talking about legacy now.
Right.
You get your act together credit-wise, and then you give your children a head start credit-wise. Make perfect sense. It'll make no sense, rather, for a child to be 15 with bad credit because you don't ruin their credit with utilities.
Right.
They got bills in their damn name. And they got to go through a fraud process to get it off their name.
And tell them they mama.
Now, I used to work at the phone company back in the day. And I do remember we had a tool we could plug a social security number in. Mm-hmm. And it would say things like less than 5 years old. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, if this woman don't get off this phone, trying to put this phone in Trevanius's name, I was just really upset. But
we've upgraded that since then.
Love it.
I do wish those kids get older, there were things that we could put in their names, and actually, my son's 16 and he has a job. He has to pay his own cell phone bill, but it'd be nice if it were actually in his name, but because he's not 18, it can't be. But, so it's like, but I wish there were things that we could actually put in their name so they can kind of see the impacts, see the effects of it, and help them monitor it.
So a key to that is, again, depending on how well your credit is, you can have like an American Express, and you can add your child as an authorized user, which gives him his own American Express. And Okay. Well, you can make the limit. Like, you can authorize a limit for him, as I do my son, for $100. Okay? That's all you get. That's for the month, and he's 17. Okay? So if he doesn't pay it, and even when he does pay it, it hits his credit report too. So and then, you know, as he get older, I need you to pull your credit. I need you to understand the impact of you using this American Express, because you got to work and pay this $100 back, and this is how it impacts your credit.
I like that.
You know?
I didn't know you could set that up.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. My kids, $25 a week.
$100 a month.
For gas. It is, but for gas. And believe me, like, one of them went over. I'm like, dude, you suspended. You can't get no gas next week. For real.
They barely got gas for 1 week.
But you know what?
For $25.
They will be all right. It's a lesson. My daughter, same thing. She got $50. Dad, I got $50. I said, okay, that's 2 weeks. We can use the car next week. that 6th day and 59th hour, 12th hour, 23rd hour, and 59 seconds. 59 minutes is what I'm trying to say. Hey, Dad, is the suspension over?
But it teaches them, right? Because I mean, I see how the way Jeffrey do it, but I give you the whole $100 for the month, and that allows you to not only know how to manage it, but you got a budget.
Yep.
You got a budget, because I'm not your bank. You got to know how. I got to put gas in my car. I don't want to eat what mama cooked at home, so I'm going to stop and get this. Okay, you know you need gas next week, so you better budget that money, or you want to get your PlayStation, whatever they do on their online. Hey, baby, you got
nothing
to get
on this car but gas.
I asked my son, I said, you have some money, baby? I said, what you said, $16.
I love it. I love it.
You don't have no money.
No.
All right, so thank you very much for those credit tips. We appreciate it. Love it, love it, love it. All right, now I want to talk about something else that happened this week. Wendy Williams. Wendy Williams. Actually, I believe the three of us, one of us needs to have Wendy Williams sitting on our couch, billing her some serious hours to help her get beyond the pain that she's experiencing from the trauma of her breakup in her marriage. And I'm dead serious.
I was about to say that. I can't say that her marriage caused that.
She's double bitter now.
She just bitter all around.
I want y'all to see this clip, if you have not seen it. Wendy Williams made some comments about Tabitha Brown. Now, if you don't know who Tabitha Brown is, she is one of the most inspirational social media influencers out there. She has an infectious smile. Her voice, it just draws you in, and the way she does what she does with vegan cooking, recipes. I mean, you gotta love her. But Wendy had something to say, so we're gonna roll this clip and come back and talk about Wendy Williams on Tabitha Brown retiring her husband. Go ahead and roll the clip.
But there's this woman, her name is Tabitha Brown. Oh, you know her? Clap if you know her. Okay, good. I don't know her. Well, she's an influencer, and she's saying that she's retiring her husband. He's been a police officer for 15 years, and he wants to live out his dreams. Take a look.
I have said to him, babe, it's time. It's time. It's time for him to dream again. It's time for him to think like a child and think, ooh, when I grow up, what do I want to be? And it's something else. It's time for a new journey, a new chance at life, right? And God has blessed us. He has blessed me that I can retire my husband.
Nope. I was married to one of those. You know, I make the money and so on and so forth. Go live your dreams, buy a business, you know, stay with me, but go. You see how that turned out. I predict that this marriage is going to be on real rocky ground in a moment. Live your dream. Then they invest in stuff and they lose the money. And then they invest in something else and the money gets swindled or stolen. And then they invest again. Then he comes home and throws his bag down. And he's like, and she's like, what? And he's like, I can't do this. And this is your fault. You're over here making all your money and stuff. You had me quit my job, and I can't find my live like a child. No, but you understand what I'm saying? Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, no. No, you work. Being a cop was a big part of his identity. He liked it, but she came to him and said that. Clap if you understand what I'm saying.
Now, I want y'all to understand that normally when Wendy does that thing right there, and she don't have to ask for nobody to clap. Normally they're bought into her. I believe her audience wasn't feeling her. Coach Stacey, how do you feel about that?
I don't feel like they was feeling her either. But I don't have a lot of nice things to say about Wendy. You might not want to ask my opinion.
That's why we ask.
She needs a lot
of Jesus.
And not even just Jesus. I don't even think Jesus can help her right now. She needs a lot of healing. I mean, she's been hurt. She's got a lot of trauma. And I think it was way before her husband. All right? It was way before her husband. And then that was the icing on the cake. That was just like, you know, that was the ripple effect. It's like, I'm crazy now. Like, nobody's going to do me wrong anymore in my life. You know, that's where she's at.
I love it. Now,
But to call that lady out on her show like that.
About a relationship she ain't in.
That was mean girlish. And I didn't like that.
Now, Tabitha did clap back. We're gonna play that clap back in a second now, but February, what do you think?
And the same page. I don't think anybody can be happy that does what Wendy Williams does anyway. The business that pays her is talking badly about other people. That's what she makes a living doing, gossiping and undermining and talking badly about other people. And you could literally see her hurt up there. She was talking, her defensive posture, the way she was just, I mean, she was so upset, even discussing it, she was discussing it. And I was just like, I'm smiling as Tabitha's talking. I'm sitting here thinking, you go good. Right.
Absolutely.
Then you can retire your husband who's had your back. And, you know, and if it weren't for him, you probably wouldn't be where you are because somebody else was helping pay your bills so you could go do this other thing. And I honestly said to myself, I don't care if he divorces her tomorrow. Not that that's what I'm saying, but I would still be like, yes, I'm so glad you're retiring. This man has supported you and loved you based on what you're saying and honored you and helped you get to where you are. Yeah. If he gets half, so be it. Like, really, like, you guys, based on what she's saying, have been a team.
That's right.
So I'm like, where's the anger? Where's the bitterness? I was excited as I was listening to her talk. I was like, you better do the damn thing, girls, what I'm talking about. Like, I'm up here. And then hear Wendy be like, I was like, yeah, that's a lot of pain. But like she said, it came long before this.
I agree.
But her whole entire posture and demeanor to even have anything negative to try to do anything that woman was saying about her husband was just, it just spoke volumes. It spoke really unfortunate volumes for Wendy. But I was Team Tabitha all the way. Retire your husband, girl.
I love it. I love it. Renee, what do you think?
I agree with both. I think that hurt people hurt people. And she's been in the media doing this, I mean, since I was a kid watching her in New York. That's who she's been. And she's a controversial person. But I think in this instance, that triggered home. You know, she just, her husband, and as you said, you could see all the hurt on her face as she discussing, he's not going to do this and I give that relationship. No, that's what happened in your relationship. Absolutely. You can't speak on Tabitha and her husband. I mean, Tabitha had joy announcing, I'm retiring my husband. It's time for him to sit down. I want him to have a kid mentality. You know, it's a new journey. And that was a hate mentality from Wendy. It was all hate.
It was. Now, listen.
Jealous.
I have seen some people really, really clap back on social media. I mean, some legendary clapbacks. If you haven't seen this video yet, I'm not going to play all of it. I just want you to listen to the clapback and the blessing at the same time. This is Tabitha Brown responding to Wendy Williams. Go ahead and roll that clip.
Hello there. Y'all all right? Very good, honey. I was up doing a little work here. That's why I got my pajamas on in my office. And then my phone started going off, like praising people. It's like, girl, you're Wendy Williams. First of all, Wendy Williams, honey, God bless you. God bless you. Okay. And so people sent me a little clip. And I said, oh, my God, the pain this woman must be in. Wendy, the pain you must be in to feel this way. And I'm so sorry. But listen, let me tell you this. 23 years I've been with my husband. Yes. Broke for a very long time together. Struggled for a very long time together. Succeeded for the last couple of years together, right? My husband took a job in agreement with me. He took a job 15 years ago to help support my dream. And I know you may not know what that looks like in a genuine place, right? But this was an agreement that my husband and I had. And I told him 15 years ago, oh, babe, in 5 years, I'll be able to take you out of there so then you can pursue one of your dreams that you love. Right now, I was his dog in the fight, okay? And he believed in me. And we did it together for the last 15 years. I did every year with him at LAPD, and he did every year with me with rejection and no's in this entertainment industry, right? However, God has blessed me. He has allowed me to manifest. I've been praying on this for a very long time, and it has now come to pass. That is the power of God. It's also the power of allowing God to be first in your marriage, okay? And that is how it remains successful. We keep him first. He is first in our marriage. Not money, not business, not success, but God. He's first, okay? So this is my prayer for you. I pray that love finds you, true love. I pray it finds you and it holds you tight. I pray that someone will love you enough to see you when you are not well, to see you when you need true support, to see you when you need compassion, to see you when you need kindness. I pray that somebody loves you enough to sacrifice their life for you. I pray that type of love finds you so that you can understand why. I don't want my husband to put his life on the line.
Now look, I could have let it play. I just want you to understand that when Wendy was speaking, she was speaking about her relationship. When Tabitha was speaking, she was speaking about her relationship. Notice the distinct differences between the two. I would submit to you, Wendy, that the man that you married had an agenda when you married him. And the agenda wasn't about you or the relationship, it was about him. By contrast, I will submit to you that Tabitha's husband, when he got married to her, or when they got married, he had an agenda too. And it was about the we, not the he or the she, but the we. And when they made that covenant, according to what she said, they made that covenant through Christ, and it reaped benefits. Now, you don't have to worship God, or you can worship whomever you want, or you don't even have to be spiritual in that way. I will submit, though, when you commit to the relationship being successful, more times than not, it will be, because it's a selfless act. But when you act in a selfish way, you get what you got. No disrespect to you at all, Wendy Williams, but you cannot operate in a space of negativity in the way that you do and expect positivity. It just doesn't work that way. And that's all I got on that. Now, I'd like to make hot topics for that. Put me on. Pull up on me.
Okay, Zaddy.
I love it. 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 Now, that was an instance of somebody not minding their own business, in my opinion. Wendy Williams, just what she does not mind her own business. Several weeks ago, maybe several months ago now, Lil Boosie Badass. I don't know all the monikers. I just know he had something to say about the way that Dwayne Wade is raising his children. Now, I'm going to put this disclaimer out there. I wish somebody would say something to me about the way I raise my children. I wish somebody would. all the effort and love and commitment and passion that I've poured in being a present, reliable, dependable father, so they can start off as healthy as I can possibly help them be. And you flapping your gums? I'm sorry.
I wish your mother.
Yeah.
That's it.
Woo, I forgot where I was. But Lil Boosie has something to say about the way that Dwayne Wade, not Dwayne Wayne, a different world, is raising his children. So I want to play what Lil Boosie had to say on Dwayne Wade's parenting, and we come back and discuss what he has to say. Go ahead and roll that clip for me.
Be go to TV. You gonna be beat straight up. And that's how that.
I gotta say something about this shit, bro. Dwayne Wade, you gone too fucking far, dog. That is a male. A 12-year-old. At 12, they don't even know what their next meal gonna be. They don't have shit figured out yet. He might meet a woman, anything, at 16 and fall in love with her. But his dick be gone. How you gonna... Like, bro, you going too far, dog. Don't cut his dick off, bro. Like, bro, for real. If he gonna be gay, let him be gay. But don't cut his dick off, bro. Like, don't address him as a woman, dog. He's 12 years old. He's not up there yet. He hasn't made his final decisions yet. Don't cut his fucking dick off, Dwayne Wade, bro. You fucking tripping, dog. You tripping, dog. You tripping, dog.
Let's keep it 100. Lil Boosie might have said it in a way that was filled with expletives and all types of comments, but he is speaking for a whole lot of people out there. Let's keep it 100 now. There are a lot of people who agree with the standpoint of allowing a 12-year-old to continue to develop before undergoing any type of gender reassignment surgery. Now, that being said, it ain't none of our business. Not our business. Not our business, whether you agree with it or not. It's still not our business. However, I'd like for us to talk about it. So, February, since you knew I was getting ready to call on you, I'm glad you picked up that microphone. I hope you got it turned on. How do you feel about what Boosie Badass, Boosie X had to say?
What is our business? As a society, where do we draw the line to what's our business and what's not our business?
Fair question.
And I agree with him, actually. I have allowing your child to express themselves, allowing your child to flourish in a certain environment is one thing. Mm-hmm. To me, changing your child's gender, as he said, at 12 years old, is huge. They don't talk about as much in that community how many people regret their decisions, even as adults. So yeah, I'm actually with him. I do think, of course, he was explicit, but again, I think that's too much too soon. I'm an ages and stages type of parent. I don't care what you want to do. You can do this at this age, you can do this at this age, you can do that at that age. You don't get everything you want right away just because you want it. That could be piercing your ears, wearing makeup, wearing certain types of clothes.
I get it.
I mean, my girls couldn't wear short shorts at 12, 13, 14. Okay, 16, 17 maybe. You know, you couldn't get a tattoo before you were 18 and out my house. It's just certain things. I'm an ages and stages parent. So this is no different to me than ages and stages. You don't give a child everything they want simply because you can. And as he said, like as I said about, you know, the other thing, like the child's 12. Nothing's really formed yet. And you're going to make that type of decision? Like, so you can change clothes. You can grow back hair. I think it's, and again, when we say is it none of our business, at what point and what place is something our business? When our children are being molested, is it someone else's business? Is it our business when it's your child and not my child? You know, at what point is it society's business to say, whoa, we know scientifically certain things are not developed yet? That's why we're putting a whoa on it. Not to make judgments about your decisions, but we recognize that some things are just not in the best interest of the human being at certain stages in life. So therefore, we're going to protect the human being. Now, if you still want this decision at 18, 19, 20, whatever we say, 25, we know the frontal lobe has been developed, so on. Okay, your decision, we're out of it, no problem. But at what point is it our business to protect all children, whether we gave birth to them or not?
Fair question, fair question. Before we bring it to more discussion, I'd like to get Coach Stacy your input on it. I know you're a little warm over there. We got some air going now. What do you think? Does Boosie have a point, or is he going too far?
Oh, he has a very valid point. He has a very valid point. I mean, I get it, the business, mind your own business. It's my kid, that's your kid. I don't know if you're looking for a devil's advocate opinion.
No, I just want to know what you think.
But a 12-year-old, and you know what, I have a few friends who have transgender children, but I would not recommend that would be something they do until their bodies have fully developed.
Understood. Fair enough. Renee, what do you think? Is Boosie tripping, or does he have a point?
I'm going to have to go against the grain. I feel like this, you know, from Dwayne Wade's perspective, and I don't know if you guys seen his interview, but in that interview, he talks about being a parent dealing with that type of a child. And I have to say, like, when it comes to my kids, I mean, my parents, I'm trying to raise them the way that my parents raised me, but times have changed, right? So if you have a child in the household, and I think it's easy to sit on the outside and look in, unless you're really in that situation, your outlook would change, because we make judgment calls on anything until we're in that situation. I wouldn't do this, I wouldn't do that, but it's different when it's you in that situation. And with kids dealing with sexual identities, you don't, for his son to feel, or daughter, you know, to feel comfortable to go to the parent and have that kind of conversation, and for Dwayne Wade and Gabrielle Union to embrace it, allows that child to express himself versus turning to suicide, you know what I mean? And that's what Dwayne Wade spoke about. You know, he said to Boosie, I don't care what you say. I hear what you're saying. I respect what you're saying, because what it does is opens up more conversation. And it does. When a child is 12, and he said he identified with this before 12. So he was born that way, wanting dresses. The child researched it, came to him and Gabrielle and said, listen, I've researched this. This is what I am. I'm not gay. I'm transgender. You know, so every child's level of intelligence is different. You know when you're different. At a young age, you know when you're different, you know, and I just feel like, no, it's not my business to pass judgment on how Dwayne Wade deals with what goes on in his household with his child, only because it's not hurting me. If he's hurting the community, like you out here raping somebody, you out here stealing, that is for us to pass judgment on it. But this right here, I feel a little different. That's his child, and you got to support your child.
You know, well, before you say that, we actually have the video with Dwayne Wade responding to Lil Boosie. So I want to play that, then we'll come right back to you, Coach Stacy, so we'll have more context about what Renee's talking about. Go ahead and roll Dwayne Wade's response to Lil Boosie.
All the people who got something to say, Jay Boogie, who just came out, all the people got something to say about my kids, I thank you, because you're allowing the conversation to keep going forward. Because you know what? You might not have the answer today. I don't have all the answers, but we're growing from all these conversations. So I thank everybody for even hating and starting those conversations, because those conversations are starting other conversations that we need to have and that's happening out there. So I don't hate it.
I'm going to say this, bro. Hey, you're a real life G, D-Wade, bro. Because that could have been a whole nother damn 30 minutes about what you just said.
Just on the journey from finding out from Zaya saying, Dad, this is who I am, to seeing D. Wade on talk shows, D. Wade being a champion for not only for his daughter, right, but for anybody who looks at Zaya and says, you know what, that's what I hope to have.
Growing up in the city of Chicago, in the hood, you're told that boys do this. Boys play football, boys play basketball, boys play baseball, boys date girls, whatever the case may be. You're told this is what you do, right? So I'm no different. I'm raised that way. I'm in the locker room. I say all the things that everyone is saying. I'm not sitting up here like I have never done or said anything, right, when it comes against the opposite sex, because I was ignorant. I didn't understand.
Right.
So when it hit my doorstep, At 3 years old, like I said, when me and my wife looked at each other, right? And the reason we looked at each other is because of this, you know, as kids, I used to put on heels. I used to do all those things. I try to put on whatever my sisters wear. When all my sisters did, I try to do those things. So at first, I said to myself, oh, no, I did that. So I ain't just doing the things that I did. And then it kept going further and further. And then me and my wife had to look at each other and say, well, what if? And at that moment, everything that I was taught went out the window because now I'm a parent. And my sole job and my sole responsibility is to make sure that this kid grow up knowing that it's supported and is loved by his father and the other parent, right? That's my only job.
Now, he summed it up nicely. Coach Stacy, what do you think?
I took the words out of my mouth. And I want to say this. So, of course, I have a 26-year-old daughter. She's out of 5, she's the only girl. And at 18, she told me she was gay. And so, as far as what you're saying, when we're not in that situation, the judgment, and I get it, all right? I've always been that parent because I didn't feel supported growing up. I wasn't going to be that parent. And I assumed that I supported her in her choice. Right. And she said I didn't. All right. Okay, that's what you want to do. You know, she said I've said a few choice words, and she held on to those words for a couple of years. Now she's no longer living that lifestyle. She's married to a man. They have 2 beautiful children. They're doing really well. But at that time, I remember myself being in that situation, and I felt that I was supporting her, which is why I said what I said in the beginning. I get it. Support your children. That's what we all should be doing. I'm a domestic violence advocate. I do the same thing. I don't tell the lady she got to leave. She might want to stay there. She might like it. All right? But I support her in whatever choice she decides to make. But at the age of 12, changing your body when in 15 years you might decide that this is not what you want for your body and it's not what was God given. Yeah, I have a problem.
But I don't think the child has changed his body. I think what's happening, he's dressing like a girl.
Well, let him dress like a girl.
And that's my thing. Now, changing the body, that's something different. I agree with that.
To have the surgery at this early age,
I didn't think that was something they were talking about doing.
My understanding, they were talking about the gender reassignment surgery.
Yeah. And so that's the problem that I have based on health-wise.
Right.
All right? That's the problem that I have. Yeah, support him. He wanted just like, my sons have put on my wigs and put on my heels and try to be funny and play me. I don't think any of them are transgender the way they talk about girls, but, they like them some girls. But at the same time, I would support them in that if that's what they choose to do as a parent, right? But having the surgery at this young age when your body is not quite or fully developed, and based on that, you could change your mind in 5-10 years. Like, dang, and it could cause issues or it could cause problems that you may, circumvent that you would normally not have.
I agree.
Based on that surgery.
I agree. Now, Jeffery, go ahead.
Thank you. What I was going to say is it's hit my door several times. So I'm not the parent. Like when I said, I got one heterosexual child. One. Give me one. Just one. All of them about some levels of something always coming up in my damn face talking. I'm like, what is it now? Well, I think I'm bisexual and I want to wear this type of No, simply what? Because I'm an ages and stages type of parent. It's not discrimination. I'm talking about my youngest son. He saw the rappers on TV and they're wearing the nail polish and the. No, sir. Why, Mommy? Because your sisters couldn't do it either. I'm not discriminating because you're a boy.
That's right.
Love it.
I'm an ages and stages type of parent. But can I get my ears pierced?
No.
Love it.
Can I get a tattoo? No. Again. And then I said, go ask your siblings. I have not changed who I am because of your sexual identity, orientation, what all these extra words are that you want to give me. Now, if you think you're bisexual, okay, so pass the cereal. I really
exactly.
Okay.
Right.
There's just certain things you're not going to do.
She said pass the cereal.
Because when my oldest daughter at 14 came, I said she was bisexual. Again, I was like, okay, pass the cereal. This is, what do you want me to do with that? Nothing. It's nothing for me to do. I'm not upset. I'm not, okay.
Right.
And I can go so far as to say my daughter married a man, a young man, who now his toenails are painted, he be wearing bonnets and stuff, he identifies as pansexual. He is welcomed around the house all the time. He comes around there that way. And we're all like moving right along. So I'm not a discrimination person. Trust me, my kids just won't let me be. Even when I try. And then my other daughter, I don't know what her stance is. Honestly, I don't care. But I'm still going to be an ages and stages parent. You don't do everything. If I had $1 million, I wouldn't buy my child a Lamborghini. I think you're too young for a Lamborghini. And so changing your body into a complete gender reassignment at 12 is too much, too soon. Reel it back in. I got it. This is what you feel. And if you feel this way 5, 6, 7, 8 years from now, by all means, I'm going to support you. I will tell anyone that's what I'm going to support. But today, shorty, stay in your age group, okay? Stay in your lane. You're too young. That's just the bottom line.
Let me circle back around because clearly I didn't know that he was talking about the changing of the body. I'm just speaking of supporting the child. Now, I do not agree with changing the body at 12 years old because today in society, the children today, like you said, one day I'm gay, one day I'm bi. No, I like girls, I like boys. So they're confused on those kind of things, and especially at 12 years old. So you changing his body into a woman's body, and then he realized, okay, I'm 18, I like girls, but you got a girl body. That's just not. I don't agree with that now. No, I do not. So maybe I misunderstood the question. But I do support him supporting his child. Absolutely. I don't support the other part of it now.
Absolutely. I think that's the common denominator with all of our statements. We all believe that children should be allowed to grow up and grow into who they will be as adults. At the same time, we're parents for a reason. We're there to help guide their decisions, not necessarily make the decisions for them, but help them make better decisions as they grow, because we're not raising children, we're raising adults. And some of the things Stacy mentioned, that her daughter held on to some things that you said negatively. I believe that happens with every child. And the failure of the parent at the time of revealing is not accepting responsibility for it. Okay, if I didn't handle it right then, I had to have this conversation with my son. Hey, you know what? I recognize now you took on something that you didn't have to. You thought that I was breaking up the family, so now you have to be the man at your mom's house. I'm like, no. I was still present. You didn't have to take on nothing. You still should have been allowed to grow up as a young man and not trying to be the man of the house. And so when we had that conversation, it lifted a burden off him. That's something we have to do as parents. We don't make it all perfect. We make plenty of mistakes. Owning up to those helps to free our children up from our trauma. I'll say this. I saw a quote that said, never let your child get wet by your trauma or your storm or something like that. Eye-opening. Your storm is yours. It's not yours to pass down to your children. I love it. Love discussions like that. Now, we get these discussions going on every Saturday, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. right here. If you got something to say, call in, 470-251-4647. But don't get it twisted now. It's a whole lot of smoke you'll catch if you come incorrect on this stage now. Don't get it twisted. None of us are playing. Man, listen, I want to talk to you ladies about the cancel culture. Cancel culture is crazy. It could be for virtually anything. Cater to You by Destiny's Child. We got to cancel that. Cater to You by Destiny's Child. We got to cancel that. Comedians who made jokes years ago. We got to cancel them.
Forrest Gump.
Got to cancel Forrest Gump. All these things that have to be canceled. So I just want to play this video on where cancel culture kind of comes from. It gives a brief explanation of cancel culture, and I want to talk about it. Go ahead and roll that clip. Here we go.
Innocent at the time, a simple comment or post on social media or a picture you post.
But in today's culture, just a simple social media post from years ago can prevent you from getting a job.
is that fair?
Tonight, Denver 7's Russell Haythorne goes 360 on the rise of what's being referred to as cancel culture.
You may have never heard the term cancel culture.
It's somewhat of a boycott of a person.
But you certainly know some of the faces who have been canceled.
I think social media does play a big part in it.
Let's start with some context.
Usually it's a public figure or a celebrity who has done something that other people find objectionable.
It can also be someone just like you and me.
Putting something out there that can probably offend somebody.
So I often caution people, especially young people, students, about what they place on social media because that is their professional image and picture forever.
Cancel culture is a form of boycott or public shaming of a person who has shared a questionable or unpopular opinion, or in more serious cases, someone whose behavior in their past is not only offensive, but unethical, illegal, and wrong. Like R. Kelly, Harvey Weinstein, who's currently on trial, and Bill Cosby.
And he's in prison and appropriately has been held accountable. We absolutely should hold people accountable for bad behavior.
That really ruined their image for me.
I have canceled on people. I've spoken out a lot about R. Kelly.
Those cases, and others like them, even gave rise to the Me Too movement.
Women who are not listened to, who were not validated in their concerns, getting together and finding a way to hold their abusers accountable.
Truth be told, it's deeply connected to social justice. Powerless people finally being heard and taking that power back.
Cancel culture can also be found closer to home.
People, including our employers, including our friends and family, are going to hold us accountable for what we post on social media.
Amari Dantzler has canceled people.
Friends, yes.
So has Jazz Moore.
Some of my friends, or I don't hang out with as much.
Rude to be like to post ignorant things about other people.
I try to talk to them and explain why their behavior isn't cool before I just cancel them.
After a while, when it kicks in, they get all huggy-buggy.
And while that may be justified, there's also a cautionary tale there. While cancel culture started out as justice, it can involve people being too quick to judge, even considered bullying, extreme mobs with vicious online attacks without context or the full story. Even former President Barack Obama has warned of this.
That's not activism. That's not bringing about change. You know, if all you're doing is casting stones, you're probably not going to get that far.
There are more benign cases of cancel culture as well.
So he was stretching the truth a little bit.
Like Brian Williams at NBC, demoted for embellishing on past experiences in wartime reporting and elsewhere.
It came to the point where he was considered damaged goods.
Stripped of his main anchor role at NBC and demoted to MSNBC. Not canceled entirely, but muted significantly.
It can make or break careers.
Like what happened to NFL quarterback Colin Kaepernick, who refused to stand for the national anthem.
He was protesting something in a way that he understood to be respectful. The fact that he's one of the top players today in football and cannot have work, I mean, that is cancellation.
And that's where experts say, be careful.
If you post anything, it's a record, right? It's a public record.
It's really hard to forgive and forget.
Because even though America loves a comeback, in this digital age, your past can come back to haunt you.
Sometimes partying and everything, all like that, it doesn't need to be online.
Anybody can look up your name, and people do. Employers do that.
Do we even have private lives anymore? Increasingly, the answer to that is no.
Russell Haythorne, Denver 7.
All right, so what do you think? We want to hear from you. Email us, 360@thedenverchannel.com, or you can always write a comment on the
I think we got a good ground to talk about cancel culture. So, Renee, I want to toss to you first. How do you feel about the cancel culture first, and have you canceled anyone personally?
I feel like everybody should be able to speak and say what they choose as freedom of speech, freedom of press. However, depending on that form, you do have to realize that the society that we live in is going to judge you based off of when you was 12, 13 to turning 20. They don't recognize the growth. And I have to say, yes, I have, years ago, myself have been, canceling people, but it's in the corporate America, like at work. You know, you got people that post stuff on their social media that's inappropriate. However, it should not be held against them what they do with their private time. But we look at it and we won't hire people because of what they post on their social media. If you on there thugging it out, we stereotype. Oh, he a thug. No, he over here got his hair braided. I mean, it's just, that's what society do. But I have done that. I've interviewed people and they're not professional, they got gold teeth, and we make judgment on that, and we go and we check their social media. We're trained to do this. Let's look and see how you really live. I mean, do you represent our corporate company? And if no, we won't hire you. So yes, I have been guilty of that in the past. Not saying that I do that now, but yes, in working in an HR field, that was part of what we had to do. I don't agree with it. I think that we all should have an opportunity to grow. But it just like as we were speaking about Sha'Carri Richardson, now they're pulling up something she posted about someone being gay 3 or 4 years ago. First, you can't use what she did as a 16-year-old versus her being 20, and when she get 25, there's an area of growth.
Agreed. February. How do you feel about cancel culture, and have you canceled anyone?
No, I don't cancel people. I don't want to live in an echo chamber. I'm really good at letting people say that you can't just be a completely rude, unkind person on social media around me. But for the most part, I'm pretty much like, say what you got to say. And I don't even, if I like it or don't like it, there are people on my social media page, which is pretty active. I don't even like them. I cringe when they say stuff. But again, just because we're different doesn't mean I have to, you know, as long as you're not being blatantly offensive or causing arguments, and I've really been very good. No one really argues on my page because they know, hey, that's just not where you do that. So, but people will definitely disagree, and or some people, I'm like, God, I cringe when I see what they post, but I'm like, whatever. And I told a lie. You know, I told just the right little lie, and Jeffrey knows that about me. But the other day, my daughter said, I was driving, and I said, so don't y'all start trying to cancel me now, but I'm going to say it. I said, oh my God, this driver is so freaking retarded. Just drive. She goes, Mom, you can't say that.
I say that too.
I'm in my car. And I'm like, I said, let's be very clear. I don't believe people that are differently able than I am. I don't even call them special. I think that's an insult. And someone says, you're going to call them special. No, why? They're just different from me. I'm not about to, you know, relegate them to being something less than. So when I'm calling someone retarded, I'm calling somebody stupid, an idiot. I don't think because you're handy, you know, one leg, or your mental capacity is different from mine, that you're stupid. That's a completely different set of individuals, completely different set of circumstances. And I'm like, so I can't call somebody stupid, so I can't use that word that describes someone as being stupid because why? Because I'm definitely not talking about this other group of the population. I'm not talking about them at all. So it's like now we have to, and I told my dad, I said, I grew up in the era of the Jeffersons, okay? In Archie Bunker. And we said we wanted to say, and we kept it moving. And I'm not saying that we have to be insensitive, but I also grew up in Lily White, Tucson, Arizona. If you met my white friends, they'll tell you, I'm still the same chick. I say just what I want. I don't whisper and say, did you see the white people over there? I'm like, girl, you see that white woman over there with her hair? I mean, because I'm like, I'm not being offensive. I'm not being unkind. I'm just describing someone. I'm talking to someone. And like, I'm like, why can't we be more honest and authentic? Because we can't get past our issues if we keep trying to shuck them under the rug and be so politically correct that we can't even articulate ourselves. I want to, we can talk. We can be honest. And sometimes people are just fucking retarded. You get off my nerves. But I can't say that. I'm like, get off my page. You are retarded. And that has nothing to do with this other people over here, because they are not. That's just you. Right. So, yeah, I don't like the whole cancel culture. I think it allows too many of us to live in an echo chamber. It starts suppressing freedom of speech. It starts suppressing individualism, that we all have to think and walk and talk the same. And it creates a very hostile tightrope that we're not being really honest and genuine with each other. You know, I think that sometimes it's okay to hash it out and then bring it back down.
Agreed. Well said. Coach Stacy, have you Well, how do you feel about cancel culture? First of all, have you ever canceled anybody?
Oh, y'all gonna laugh when I say this, but I'm so busy becoming the best version of myself and helping other people become the best version of themselves. I had no clue to what a cancel culture was until he called me today.
I'm not mad at you.
I'm just saying. Sometimes we just focus on the wrong shit.
No disagreement. No disagreement at all.
That's all I got to say.
I love it. I love it. Now listen, folks, don't get it twisted. This is America. America has been canceling folks for decades.
They called it blackball.
But think about it like this. Josephine Baker was basically run out of the country and accused of being a communist. Commie became almost a slur. You were accused of being a communist as a way of saying that you're not a patriot. McCarthyism, that happened in this country right here. Don't get it twisted. America has a history of canceling people that they thought were a threat to the good of the social structure, is the way they would put it. Bringing that to where we are right now. I really believe there's a whole lot of people out here right now that simply don't have conflict resolution skills. You don't know how to speak to someone you don't agree with. You don't know how to understand someone else's perspective. All that you know is, I feel passionately about this and I should be able to post whatever I want to post on Facebook in spite of the repercussions, because I feel passionate about this and I'm not letting up. But all you're doing is repeating stuff that's not even true. Repeating half-truths, or repeating something that is opinion and expecting it to be treated as fact. You can be given the truth, and you will still say, I don't care, this is how I feel. And when you have such low regard for the truth, you're really not interested in anything other than your own edification. And if that's how you feel, great. Just don't come this way, because I got some smoke for you. And we probably ain't gonna be friends anymore. I still ain't gonna counsel you, because kids do that type of stuff. I ain't gonna block you. Kids do that type of stuff. I'm gonna try to resolve the issue. And if we can't, I want you to continue to see me shine, because that's what I'm gonna do.
Booyah.
That's all I got on that one. All right, now y'all know we can't go a whole show without me having some type of videos. So I want to ask y'all, what would y'all do in this situation? I found this video. It's just amazing. It's a great example for me to see how you ladies would handle it if you were put in the same situation. So you are on a date. I'm setting the stage. You're on a date, and the date's going pretty well. And then something happens. Watch this video and tell me how you would respond. Go ahead and roll clip.
No, my mom was ready to go.
My bad, I'm so sorry, bro. My bad, man.
So, what you about to get into?
I'm gonna just head out, maybe I'm gonna go to the bathroom.
Oh, you going to the bathroom?
Yeah, I just need to get all my stuff.
Okay. All right.
Excuse me.
Okay. Coach Stacy, we're going to start with you and work our way back around. You on a date with a brother, you know, and the waiter spills some water and wipes it off and wipes his head off, wipes the Beijing off. What you gonna do?
Well, I ain't gonna do what she did, because, you know, she really wasn't coming back to that
No,
table.
she wasn't coming back.
But you know, I'm inquisitive and nosy as hell. So I'm gonna want to know why your hair can't grow in the first place. You gotta go get a job.
Hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. All right, fair. You on a date, the date's going well, he's articulate, you know, he's charming, and water gets spilled on his head, and what happened on the video happens to you. What you gonna do?
Steve Harvey just went away.
You know what?
But you know what, honestly, if the date were going well, I'd be like, you might want to go clean that up.
That's gonna be the house, right?
You might want to just go on and Yeah, since we being transparent here now, bro, just go on and clean. I would just be like, oh, clean that up. Like, I'm sure I would be clowning him. He's not getting away with me not clowning him, but I'd be like, go clean that up. Just, I'm gonna need you got something right here. Just it's kind of dripping, like.
Kind of dripping.
Well, you'd be nice about it. I'd just be like, yo, Steve Harvey is falling away. Yeah, but I don't think I would leave the date. I mean, that's just. Come on, like my eyelash start fluttering off or something and fall down. Like, I'm gonna need a little grace.
There's that word, grace again, grace. Okay, I love it.
I wouldn't stop. If the date were going out, if it weren't going well, that would be the perfect excuse to exit the stage, right? But.
Love it. All right, Renee, suspension of disbelief now. You are on a date with a brother. Everything's going well.
I'm doing just what she did.
You leaving?
I'm leaving.
Oh my.
I'm going to leave.
Oh my.
I'm just being honest. I'm going to leave. Because I feel like if I call him out on it and say, now I'm further embarrassing him, you know. You just got embarrassed and he knew, because soon as he wiped, he was like, embarrassed. So me saying, look, you might want to go. I'm going to further embarrass him. And then he may not want to talk to me no more. So I would just say, I wouldn't just leave and not tell him I'm leaving. I'm going to say, you know what? This ain't working. And I'm probably, because I'm silly, I'm probably going to laugh about it, but.
Deuces. Wow.
Because I am silly, I'd be like. We can't take you clowning you. We definitely get along. That's the point. So since we're here, let me see what you're working with.
And then he's not gonna wipe it all off because he's gonna be embarrassed to wipe it all off.
Okay.
But I ain't going nowhere before I eat though. I tell you, but if the food hadn't came, jokes to my plate.
So you gonna get your food?
I got it.
Stacey said she gonna have to crack some jokes.
Okay.
What you gonna say? What's going on up here?
Okay.
Is that Sprite?
Something's not right.
You know what? Now listen, I need y'all to understand something now.
Because your wig can go crooked.
Yeah.
Or your eyelash can be hanging. Sure. I had that happen.
I do not disagree. It has happened to you before. I've witnessed it. You know I'm just kidding.
Look at that bell over there.
So here we go now. Ladies, I want y'all to understand something. As a representative of the bald crew, I wish that this part right here would grow. I don't even got to cut it no more. I just got to cut this part right here and I'm good, because it don't grow no more. And I have thought about the little toupee thing. I ain't even lying. I thought about buying the Hawaiian silky wavy, getting it cut down and glued on, and have the seeds in my head. I ain't even lying. I'm telling the truth.
You thought about it.
I thought about it. I even posted it. I was really about to do it. Mm-hmm. And I was saying, if you see me with a head full of hair tomorrow, mind your business. I ain't lying. I'm telling the truth. However, I've yet to do it. Mm-hmm. I've not done it. I don't know that I ever will. Mm-mm. But some of us actually do want to have our hairline. So I can understand the brother's desire to have that nice edge up. Y'all don't know what it feels like to have that fade on the side. And to have women love that fade on the side. Y'all don't know. It's traumatic to lose your hair for us.
Don't you think we know? Walk around here with all this horse hair.
But see, that's the thing. Y'all can change it up however y'all want to. Not now. Y'all can do that. We got one look. At a certain age, we got one look. Me, I got one look. This is it. Or George Jefferson. I ain't gonna do the George Jefferson. Just not gonna do it. Just not gonna do it. Man, listen, we do this every Saturday. Well, we still got some more time. All right, I got one more video. I thought it was 7:50. I got one more video. Now, I love this video right here. We broke up, but you still want me to pay your bills. No discussion. Go ahead and roll that clip. Let's talk about it.
So, this young lady believes that after a breakup, her ex should still pay her bills. And this video is going viral.
So I had a guy get me a Benz before and put me in a loft space and, you know, set my whole life up differently than what it was normally. And I feel like if you brought me to like this level, and then we didn't work out, but we're still friends, you know, we didn't have beef and no one cheated. It was just didn't work out. But I still, I wasn't going to move from my space because it didn't work out. I wasn't going to give him back my car because I'm not going to downgrade my lifestyle because me and you are no longer together.
What?
And I just feel like if you put me in this space and that was under your budget then, what's the difference now? You know what I mean?
You were my girlfriend. I was fucking you.
Yeah, but I just feel, yeah, but I personally feel like, no, I'm not moving.
But see, what he did was this, though. He gave you the upgrade, but part of that upgrade is because you're with me.
Yes.
You understand? So let me just go, though. So we didn't work out, me and you dating. You feel me? So I'm supposed to keep paying your loft and keep paying your Benz. Now, I get it. You're a true boss if you do that, and that's the vibe we're getting. But, Jazz,
no, it's just I'm not moving, and you're going to have to deal with it.
If you want to stay upgraded, stay with me. If not, go see what's out there.
Oh, so then if that's the case, so you want me to stay with you for these items and use you, basically.
Not for them. If you want to live like this, it comes with being with me.
Okay.
Facts.
So then you would prefer a woman to just stay with you for her items and her lifestyle. My lifestyle is now contingent. My current new lifestyle that you upgraded me to is now contingent on me being in a relationship with you, and that's the only way I can have it in this moment. Then what stops me from just staying with you for that?
Get married. You want him to keep your lifestyle up, keep paying your bills, keep you on that same upgraded level. No, you were dating a man that had money. So.
Okay, Renee, because that gave me a bit of a headache. What do you think about that scenario?
I think that that's a childish mentality, and I mean, if you still want to maintain the lifestyle, clearly you had some signs that it was not working out. So you should have stepped your game up and start providing for your own lifestyle. That's all I got to say about that.
Love it. February, what do you think?
Yeah, well, bless her heart, Jesus. As a strong fan and proponent of sugar daddies, I do understand this. Don't get me wrong. I got no problem or issues with sugar daddy. Suggest she go get her one. You might want to ask the brother if you can keep the apartment and keep the Benz, and you will pay for it. Now, who pays for it ain't nobody else's business. So you might look like you're the type of girl that can get you a sugar daddy. So I suggest you get you a sugar daddy, but you also just start putting a little bit to the side when you do next time, because she don't really like she go work nowhere. I don't care what they say. She ain't the type of chick be out there working. She go work what she got to get what she want. So let me tell you, boo, what you need to do is get out there and get you another sugar daddy. Baby, that's about all he's gonna get right now. It ain't no shame in it. Go on, you the way you got him, go get you another one. It'll be real sweet when you say, Zaddy, can I please keep this here car and this apartment that you don't upgrade me to? Because I don't want to downgrade. I'd appreciate that. Okay. And then you go ask somebody else to pay for it. But that's about the only option she got, because she ain't gonna get no job or nothing else to replace what that chick was doing. But yeah, she just needs a new sugar daddy. That's all.
All right, Coach Stacy.
Stupid is and stupid does. I mean, what's to talk about? Like, why you didn't put some of that allowance up? Hello. I don't understand how women even go through that. Like, you know what? There is no way. But you know,
it happened.
I don't know how it happened, but I just couldn't. I appreciate the Benz and the loft, but I'm finna still get mine. Why would I still have to depend on you in the first place? So,
or when you was dishing, you should have been picking it up.
Right, you should have been racking it up.
Stupid ass.
That's her job. She's a sugar baby. That's her job. So that's her job. She's a sugar baby. She needs to learn how to manage her finances, but she needs to call Renee.
Manage is the word.
Manage.
Call Renee. Know how to manage her.
That'll be a credit tip. That will be a credit tip right there. Now listen, I want y'all to understand something about this type of scenario. Men, this is for you. If you have upgraded her and you are no longer planning to be with her, you are within your right to snatch everything up. I mean, it just is what it is. If you're not married to that woman, it was a girlfriend, and you did that, okay, you can bring it all back. I don't get it. I mean, I got friends. I love my friends to death, I support my friends based on the level of trust I have with them as a friend. There's some things that only my wife will ever get from me. Signing for a car? No. Kids, yeah. Wife, absolutely. Girlfriend, not gonna happen. I'll be there to help you negotiate the deal. I might even put something on it, but it's gonna be in your name. Because I don't want to come for it. I want you to have it. I don't want to have to pay the note. I want you to pay your own note. And then we get married, I got you. Okay, now that's just me. Men, be careful of this type of situation, because she clearly said, it's later in the video, she said, well, I would just make sure it goes bad so it damages you. She said, I would mess the apartment up. I'd mess the loft up if he wouldn't pay for it, so it would hurt him. I would damage the car. She said, it comes later in the video, but she says that she would ruin the car, ruin the apartment if he didn't pay for it. And guess who's on the hook for it? Not her. It ain't gonna be me. That's all I got to say. Just ain't gonna be me. Now, if you want to talk to Zaddy, be sure to send Zaddy an email at talkwithzaddy@gmail.com.
Hey, Zaddy.
I love it, but not for that, though. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. All right, now, people. Coach Stacy, if somebody wanted to find you and get in contact with you for your services, where would they go? How would they find your information?
Well, you can find me at themanifestchick.com. As a matter of fact, we have the Breakthrough to Manifest Tour starting the end of this month, July 29th through July 31st. Go to manifestchick.com and check it out. If you are needing a breakthrough in your life, if you are ready to manifest money, cars.
I love it.
You looking at me like, huh?
No, I'm looking at you like I love it.
Check it out, because I'm telling you it's going to be hot. Okay, that's how they find me.
I love it. Thank you so much for coming out again. Good to see you. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. February, if people want to find you and your, I can't remember the name of the cards, but you know what I want you to talk about. How would they find you? How would they find out about your cards?
You can find them on my books, my cards, my workshops. You can find me on everything's February Hassan. February is F-E-B-U-R-Y, Hassan, H-A-S-S-A-N. That is on all platforms, IG, Facebook, YouTube, my website, FebruaryHassan.com. Everything's FebruaryHassan.com.
I love it. What about your cards?
I recommend your Sex Shenanigans and Debauchery is now Straight Shenanigans.
Straight Shenanigans.
Straight Shenanigans. And it's an amazing deck of conversation playing cards, and it creates really, really, really interesting and provocative dialogue. So you can't play them with shy people. Also, my book, Would You Marry You? You can also find on FebruaryHassan.com. Straight Shenanigans at FebruaryHassan.com. Allure, The Art and Power of Feminine Energy, FebruaryHassan.com.
Love it, love it. That's a whole lot of income streams. I love it. I love it. Multiple revenue streams. I love it. Renee, if people want to find you or follow you or acquire services or get their nails did.
I'm at Lindsay Nails, which is on Facebook. Also, you can find me at Renee Hard1 on Twitter and Pretty Eyes at Instagram.com.
I love it. I love it. Listen, we do this every Saturday from 6 o'clock p.m. to 8 o'clock p.m. right here on Manifest TV. I'm going to need you to follow us. IG is manifesttv.status. Facebook is manifesttv.status. Twitter is status_network_. You can find us on the Amazon Fire Stick and on Roku under Status Network, Manifest TV, and on YouTube as Manifest TV. I am Talk with Jeffery, Jeffery, on all social media platforms except for Snapchat. I still ain't snapping. I still ain't chatting. I think I'm too old for that, and that's how we're going to do it. This has been a lot of fun. You know, Jack Trey, he pays the bills. Your brother Joe, he's the producer of the show today. Great job, brother. Yannette, you still my office girlfriend, even though I ain't seen you in forever. But this has been a lot of fun. I am Jeffery.
And I'm Renee.
And we are out.
Bye.
There you have it. Thanks for joining us on Let's Talk About It Live with Jeffrey and Renee. Watching is the best decision you'll ever make. And make sure you join us next Saturday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. only on www.statusnetwork.net. Jeffery.